an energy line flows right through that bone. And the energy line actually starts way beyond the bone piece itself. So the beginning of our story is way down here in the below part. If you can see that little arrow, there's a bone piece sitting on the very edge of the symbol, and it's in the lower head. So we're in the below, and we're on the left side of the ground. So symbolically, being on the left side of the ground, one aspect that's being described here is being in the realm of the feminine energy. This doesn't have to do with gender or of creation in the ways of understanding in Katasi. Feminine holds the blueprint, the vision, the picture, the energetic blueprint of what is to grow or to be built or to manifest. And the masculine energy takes action according to the blueprint to bring it to life in the 3D world. So that's the joining of feminine and masculine in a balanced way. So we begin this whole inquiry here in the realm of the feminine. And the first spirit who's responding here is the great horned owl. This bone spirit here is the great horned owl. And the great horned owl brings the medicine of inner authority, inner knowing. Following the knowledge you have gathered up and letting that be your guide. The great horned owls just have all these unique features about them. One, they're a bird who flies at night. They're not trying to live like the birds who fly in the day. The night is their element. They're trusting their own inner knowing about how it is they live. They have all these unique ways of gathering up sensory information, the way their ears are situated. They can turn their head almost all the way around. Their wings are structured in a way that they fly silently. And they move about in their own, following their own knowing, their own inner authority for how to go about living their life. So the spirits bring us, they don't give us really any information at first. They didn't give us a really long conversation about equity and balance and respect and how to do it. Where they are calling us is to our own inner knowing. And this piece is sitting in its fullest expression. This medicine is very present and alive and available. The spirits are saying we have a knowing about how to do this thing called building relationships with equity and respect and balance. This isn't about an outside authority. So this is an individual personal knowing, and they're also speaking to the large collective of humanity. We know this, and it comes from a very centered, genuine way of being. And here the spirits are calling us to claim it, to uncover. This is down in the below. We're almost down in the roots. Like we've got this. We can root in it, but it's way in there. And it's here in the realm of the energy. So it's deep inside us. It's in our interior, and it's gotten. It hasn't been given a lot of space to grow. It hasn't really come into the light yet in our present lifetime, anyway. But there's a knowing. So even if we feel we haven't experienced it in this lifetime, there's a knowing. And where that great horned owl aims is flying. It's in flight. It's going right to the foot. My foot's down there because I somehow got my foot in the photo, but not my foot. Let me move over. This foot. So the direction here is the great horned owl is moving in the energetic realm toward the foot. This is symbolically, so how are you going to walk? That we know as humans how to do this walk. But we've got to gather up this blueprint. It's the seed who's way underground and needs some nourishment. So we grow it inside of us and we let it inform everything we say and do and build and generate. So look within. Our tendency is being shown by this next piece. The spirits, so they direct us right where they want us to begin. And then what exists even deeper into our body, so we can see where this is coming toward the center, that this red, one of the symbols here with this red line and then all the way up through the center is what's alive in our life energy. What's existing in us right now? What's flowing around in our inner landscape, which then generates our outer expression in the world. So the spirits call us to our inner knowing, but they're showing here, this is the octopus, this bone piece right here, who is reaching outside for the authorities. You know, the knowledge is out there. I'm looking for that next expert who's gonna show me or figure it out, or maybe they'll do it first. And so that's where there's many places in the throw where this immense potential is living with us, and then we're held back by this patterning that says, I don't know, I'm not really capable, or it's not up to me, it's up to those people or that person or that group. And we abdicate all of our own authority and we abdicate our responsibility and we give away our power. So the spirits are pointing out to watch for that tendency. Where do we keep looking outside? And in Western socialization, that is deeply entrained. That is a deep, deep conditioning. The authority is outside. The knowledge is over there. Someone else has it. And the spirits are indicating that that is actually inaccurate, particularly around this quest to generate and create equity, harmony, balance, relationships personally and collectively in our world. So watch for the places where you get grabbed there, where you're just completely going by your own inner authority and waiting for somebody else. Because look at what's here. There's so much extraordinary capacity and potential and ability to do this now. This doesn't have to be long term. Equity, balance, respect in relationships can happen now. And that's being shown by this piece here. This is the sun. I'll enlarge this a little bit. It's an antler piece that has some coloring on that side. And this is the sun who represents your song. Living, knowing, feeling, sharing your song. In the lineage of Katasi, that's at the heart of everything. That's the aim of where any and all of the ceremonial ways are ultimately guiding us and inviting us and encouraging us and nudging us and showing us the way to open that more and more and more and more. Everyone has a song. In English, probably the more accurate way to say it is everyone is a song. Every being is a unique vibration, an energetic vibration. This is your unique piece of creation. Your note of harmony in the universe, your particularity that in this lifetime is human, but has existed over many, many, many lifetimes and is just filled with knowledge and knowing and experience. So here the song piece is fully alive. And in the central channel, it's kind of half, you see how it's sitting half in that white area of the fabric, and then half, just about exactly half, in the red. What's being described there is there's an inkling. So the part that's still in the white is more of an energetic, a kind of a yearning. It hasn't really even maybe taken a shape yet for some people. For some of you, this may feel very clear, where you've had some of the ceremonial ways to assist your remembering and claiming and living. For in the collective of humanity, this is also shown there's some hunger for it, there's an inkling. You just maybe have had a taste, or you just want something that is different than what is. Like there's a knowing held deep inside, energetically, emotionally. It's not it doesn't have, your song is not defined by any of the demographic labels or relationship roles or money in the bank or job titles. The song cannot be defined by that. So there's an energetic knowing, this remembering of you, your vibration, that is you. And is in this human form, in this particular lifetime that you are in the middle of creating. So there's these inklings, and then there's also, this can be shown how episodically, perhaps through the course of a day, or the course of a week, or a year, song feels kind of like a theoretical concept of a hunger, or it's really moving in your life energy flow, like you're really centered in it. This is a very centered existence when your song fully is in the flow of that life energy. That is living centered in your center. So there are people, particularly you here in the circle, who the spirits are describing. And so here where that belongs for you in your life, what you recognize about that. And then there's this larger collective of humanity, is what's being described here is this is where we're heading. This is what we're looking for, this kind of existence as humanity. And we have the ability to do it. It's already unfolding. So the question of equity, respect, harmony and balance in our personal relationships and with all life on our planet is existing. It's present. And there's more. There's more. And the one right next to it, tumbleweed, is showing us how we keep allowing this expansion of our song knowing, of our sharing song to song, of our recognizing the song of other beings, really feeling the song of other beings, even if we don't agree, even if we might not speak the same language, even if they're not human. Can we feel their song too? So what's the spirit who's right next there? So if you look at the organic flow, we would be moving to manifest this. The feminine holds the blueprint. We begin to feed it with life energy, and we live it. We bring it out here. It's this direction into the 3D living of it. So as we're doing this, we bump into here tumbleweed. And lightning just flashed right out in the clouds and in the horizon. So that was a emphasis from the beings around us. Tumbleweed. Tumbleweed teaches us about living in the flow of natural cycles. So the tumbleweed in their life cycle have a time in their during their lives where they're really rooted in the earth, and they're soaking up nutrients from underground and receiving the waters and growing that plant body. And there comes a time where they disengage with that process. They stop gathering up the nutrients from the soils. And eventually that plant body hardens and they're unrooted. They're unrootable. They call in the winds. They can't just walk away on their own. They need a little help, but they call in the winds, and the winds carry them on. And in their dance across the land, they're dropping the seeds for the generations to come. Someone is saying up in Toronto, Canada, they're having lightning too. So let's really honor those lightning beings. They're really with us and adding and sharing with our ceremony. So here the tumbleweed, this is the tumbleweed. It's in a position where the tumbleweed forgot to tumble. The tumbleweed is stuck. Tumbleweed is staying rooted in something that it's time to leave behind. So in order for us to really live this great horned owl medicine, honoring our inner authority, living that, following that, and living, being, sharing our song in all circumstances, in all relationships, in every moment, we're going to have to do some letting go. There are things that need to be shed in order for that path to really open. So examine that. The elders, when they were translating their ways to English, they chose the word masks, to describe the social conditioning, the psychological patterning. That is not you. It's not your song. It's the lies, the things we've been told out loud, or we have adopted because we see it and we hear it and we sense it and we just take it on as some true concept. So some of the things that are needing to be shed are the masks. And you can also examine, it can be also life circumstances, like where are we staying rooted? What kind of, like, it would be as if that tumbleweed just never tumbled. And in doing so, there's no creating of that next generation. Seeding that next generation with the gifts of what would be here of your own song. So as you are moving in your own opening of this song living, this is the sun who's shining, always available, and beyond the body. The sunlight goes beyond the body of that star. Your song radiates beyond the body of your physical humanness. The tree's song radiates beyond the body of the tree. So when we want to live this, we're going to need to come undone from places or situations or circumstances or that keep us hidden and hiding, held back, and also don't pass on the seeds of what this human existence in this dance with equity and balance, recreating our relational world that is free of the hierarchies and the abuse and the violence and the harm. So the ability is right here. And just all the stronger emphasis is a little one tucked in right here, just to continue how the spirits are seeing you. This one, you can see an edge. You're seeing the top edge of a bone piece, and it's nestled really close with this one. They look like they were carved to fit that way together, the way they're just so close. So where we are in the symbol is the base chakra, and just moving through the birthing. This is something that's being birthed. It's in process of birthing. The one you're seeing here, this top edge, is Luna Moth. And Luna Moth is about your purpose, your personal, individual purposes for this lifetime. Why are you here? Why have you come into this lifetime to experience and explore and learn and share. Those kind of questions are held here with Luna Moth. She also teaches about freedom from hierarchy. There is no better life purpose. There's no blue ribbon for the greatest life purpose on the planet. And there's no lesser life purposes. That is a hierarchical concept really situated in the Western world and English language and probably other places on the planet. But that is so embedded that in order to live our purpose with equity and see all other lives, even if we disagree or we wouldn't condone it, we don't need to judge it. That is a learning. How do I see it and acknowledge it and know its existence and honor it, even when it's something I don't want really another minute of happening? So this is about honoring all life purposes too. No better, no less. This piece, the Luna Moth, is in her fullest expression of knowing purpose, living purpose. These are such incredible medicines all joined together here in this foundational aspect of the bones, of the ground cloth. The great horned owl, trusting your inner knowing, knowing your song, really living it, letting that be what you root in, and living your purpose and living that. That's just a day by day thing. You don't have to have some grand headline that says, this is my life purpose. This is, how am I relating today? How am I bringing equity between myself and other human beings, between myself and other the trees or the waters or the winged ones, or there may be animals living around and in your home? How is there equity? That is a quest to understand how to live that day by day by day. And what is occurring here with the whale is there's some self-sabotaging of that. And part of that's due to this one here, who's rattlesnake, who's showing stress. So while there's this deep hunger and accomplishment happening of living true to your own heart and your purpose on the planet, there's also happening in this birthing time. We're here on a new moon. We're on the cusp of a new birthing, of a cycle. There's getting stuck. There's going off course. And some of that is getting generated by stress levels. We're actually here birthing stress. We're making more of it. So these are some patterns as well that the spirits are saying they're guiding us to have a closer look at in our lives. So the whale is about commitment, shows us how that whale swimming thousands of miles across the ocean just keeps going, no matter what the whale comes across. No matter if other species are going that way. No matter the challenges they face, they know where they are, they know where they're heading, and they know why. Is it the breeding grounds? Is it the feeding grounds? What is it about those waters they're heading away from and heading toward? And they keep going, and it's an inner navigation. And it's an ancient navigation. The whales are following their ancestral knowing. So we are in following also an ancestral knowing. When there's these ways of existence, like knowing your song, trusting your inner authority, living your purpose free of hierarchy, that is not coming from dominant culture, contemporary culture, conditioning. That's coming from somewhere else, from within you. So watch for this deep pursuit of your own passions, purpose, genuine existence. It's beyond being capable of it. It's already happening. And then just be attentive to those ways where you realize, yeah, I really went off course. I just went towards something that was really not fruitful or beneficial or effective or genuine to me. And then we recognize it, no judgment need be applied, and then just reset your course, reset your momentum. So in both of these areas, there's these immense energies that are available and present and alive. And then the spirits are helping us see what needs to be shed and let go of in order to fully embody and live true to you, your own knowing, your own purposes, and deeply honor all other songs, all other purposes, and all other unique paths and commitments. And watch these levels of stress. It's quite heightened collectively. It's always pretty enculturated, especially in Western society. We're addicted to stress. And this is an indication of just making more of it. So, ways you can support yourself to untangle from stress. This can be a daily stress, rushing, hurrying, worrying. This can be the activation of past trauma, stress responses that take you out of the living of your genuine purpose. So there's healing that's being looked for here. This is deep foundational healing, loving healing. So we're going to travel up a little more into the ground cloth and along this line. And we're carried right up here to the womb area. And then ultimately the bone piece end is here and points right to this piece. This is the deer. And the third pointer line, so there's 3 pointer lines. And here we have a really interesting joining of 2 pointer lines. So it's really highlighted, like the lightning coming. This is a way the spirits highlight something they're saying. This piece here is poison. We'll come back to the deer in a moment, but I want us first to visit here with poison ivy. And poison ivy it has a very special geometry that all 3 pointer lines have created around it. So if you can see this triangle here, it's being generated by the first pointer line, the second pointer line, and the third pointer line. They've made a triangle shape. And the one who's being held inside the triangle shape is poison ivy. So poison ivy can tell us when there's a toxin or a danger or an illness, things of that nature. But here poison ivy is talking to us about unwarranted fear. The way the poison ivy show that is how, so the poison ivy is just out there growing in a field, and there's goats grazing. And the goats come across this plant that's been given the name poison ivy, and they run away because they heard someone else is allergic to poison ivy, and it's dangerous. But for a goat, that is food. That plant is food, is nourishment. So a fear of something, we've been conditioned to be afraid of it. We've heard word to be afraid of it. Or we've created fears out of our own experience, but there are fears that are active now that the spirits are saying are really not indicating a true danger. It's part of the stress pattern that can get generated here. We're really taught to be afraid. And we're taught to be afraid of all kinds of things and people and circumstances and places and, cycles of nature and cycles of life. We're just infused so much fear. And what the spirits want you to know is there's something here wanting to birth. So the womb is gestating. There's There's something you're seeking to birth. So personally, in your own life, the birthing we're asking here about today, about equity in our relationships, about developing a relational world that is free of hierarchy. And they're seeking of birthing that, and these fears are coming up. I don't know how to do it. I've never seen anybody do it. Who's got the plan? It's too scary. It's too different. It's too impossible. Those might be a few. There are maybe more that you can find, that the fear really needs to be investigated. Take a look at it. Are you actually running from something that would nourish you? If we're talking about equity and harmony and balance, we're talking about really new levels of intimacy and closeness and connectedness. We are taught to be afraid of each other as humans, and for all kinds of reasons. So if we're going to undo from that and actually connect, we're talking about intimacy, closeness, sharing, respecting, getting to know. So there's fears that are really wondering how to do that, and it feels scary. So watch for the fears, because if we really want to make this move into the physical living of all of these beautiful inner knowings and strong expressions and living of your true purpose, each of us individually, that being available for every human being. And then, for all of us, we're going to have to shed these fears, or we're going to stay in the theory of the nice idea. It's a lovely idea, but it's just going to stay there. So if you really want it, the spirits are calling us to this deep inner healing, deep inner searching, here in the foundations of our own identity. There's judgments. This is the scorpion, who's also right in the center of the womb. There's judgments being held about your own dreams. There's judgments against other people's visions. The judgments activate the fear. The fear is the effect growing out of the judgments. And then we just stop. It doesn't come into existence. So we're being called here, like the tumbleweed medicine, to take a look at needs to be shed, just to be let go. It will not serve this quest to regenerate our relational world in our personal lives and with all beings on the planet. And we have a really big helper here. This is the Mother Earth. And she's sitting in that spiral. Where she's sitting is the gifts of the West, of death and letting go. She has a lot to share about how to undo, bring to completion a cycle, and regenerate the new. So reach to her. She is right here, and a beautiful companion, a strong guide. If we could grasp a fraction of her knowledge for all of the time she has been in existence. The lightning just struck again. Right out the window now. It's moved in really close. If we, to tap into her knowledge, if we can grasp a piece of it, we will be opened up in ways beyond what our human mind has been locking ourselves inside. So get to know her even more. Get to reach to her even more. Because what's being shown here is, this is a python underneath thunder. I'm wondering if you can hear that through the microphone. The python is here saying we've restricted, we've tightened down our relationship with the earth. We're kind of seeing her just through a limited frame of reference. We're not really expanding our knowing of who she really is, and what does she know, and what does it mean as a human to be in relationship with her. How do you relate song to song with the Mother Earth? No one less, no one better. Empowered being to empowered being. And what will she show you from that relationship. She can really help with the dying away of what's ready to let go of now. And the other beings who are really speaking about this, in addition to the lightning again, is the deer nation. This is the deer who represent all the spirits. And they're being really pointed to. Like, do not miss this. And what they're saying is here, that piece is turned over. It's like we're forgetting about the spirits. We haven't even asked. We've asked today for their help. But they want that door really opened. They said, we really shut that door. It's like we're approaching this. We have these questions about this human way and how do we change our human ways on the planet. And we've got it locked into like this linear, we're gonna make more laws, it's gonna get better, we're gonna think it out, we're gonna intellectualize it, we're gonna figure out who to blame and shame. And then once they stop doing what they're doing, then everything's gonna be all better. We've really narrowed this one down. And we have left out these extraordinary helpers. So in your personal quest to generate equity, what is equity? I mean, beyond an intellectual concept about this, what does it feel like? We need to know what it is if we're going to live it and share it and know when we're meeting up with it. And the spirits are one of our guides to that kind of understanding. These may be personal people, animals, lands you've lived on and no longer are with, or those who have died, who are in the spirit realm. These can be ancestral lineages with knowledge. These can be spirit guides. Like here we have in the bone bundle, a whole collection of particular spirit guides. The whole realm of the nonlinear. This is outside of 3D time-space knowledge. Ask, connect, reach. This really strong aiming of our attention there. We're trying to approach a really big process with very limited information and very limited sources of guidance. Let's see, in our time we have together, let's go a little more here. This spirit, who's right in the very center, if you tried physically to put that bone piece so that part was in the center of the center of the center, that's exactly, we would lay it just like that. This is Jaguar. This is Jaguar who's on a quest, aiming into the center. So symbolically, this yellow area, it would be symbolically, if you can envision, like the head of the jaguar. That's where it's heading. And where it's beginning is in the new moon, right where we are currently. This is the jaguar spirit is really talking to us now, here now, this moment, in this cycle of time. The new moon, this quest is about really finding your own center. How to live centered in your centered, centered in your center. So in Katasi would describe that as your song. Thunder beings. And next to another bone piece involved here, this one who's doing another arc from the new beginning, we touch into something that needs to be let go in order to really feed this quest. This is the horse. And these are horses who were out, whole herd of adult horses who were standing in a meadow when I was driving by in rural New Mexico on the way home from this beautiful time in Chaco Canyon, and watching this herd of adult horses who are circling around a newborn. And this piece represents the adult horses who are just aiming all of this attention and love Just this outpouring of attention and love for the new life. What the spirits want you to aim so lovingly your attention toward is your own quest for the awakening and the finding up and the living in your center in this moment, this particular cycle. And as you do that, you are touching all of human, our collective awareness about how to do that and what it feels like, and the sacredness of that quest. Jaguar hunts for what nourishes life. Jaguar is not a distracted hunter. So this is a deeply attentive with both the jaguar and the horse medicine, deeply attentive, honoring the sacredness of your quest, honoring the sacredness of humanity's quest to wake up, to find our way back home, to living true to who we really are. And this is in present time. This doesn't have to wait for generations and generations and generations. This can happen now. So keep questing. Love your quest. Pour love and attention into your quest and into yourself as you quest and into all others who are questing. There's no bounds to the love that can be shared. Huge thunder. Huge, huge thunder. So, nearing the close of our time, I would like to share with you who's sitting right in the heart. This is this one here. someone just said they heard that one too. That thunder boom. It's really close. They've come from the horizon to really, really, really close here with us. So much support and presence. So it's another way we can understand the Mother Earth is with us. As she's saying, she's right here. And the spirits are with us. And we just need to ask. So here in the heart, we have butterfly. And the butterfly is actually aiming toward the new moon. The butterfly is in the position here of this bone piece is in a cocoon and readying to emerge right in the heart. This is a significant description of a metamorphosis of the heart. All the more fully readying to take new flight. This is not about settling, and the butterflies just flew and came to land in the tree right outside the window. So this butterfly who's here in the bone bundle is looking toward the new while in this cocooning state. There's a hunger in the heart for new flight, new ways of living, entirely new cycles. This being who used to be a caterpillar is going to fly. So this is a expression of what some down here in this judging about what's birthing would say, oh, that's an impossible dream. How can you possibly fly? You only have little legs and this big oblong body. And it's like saying, how could we possibly live with equity and balance and harmony among us as humans? It's just an impossible dream. Don't let anybody, your masks included, and anybody else's voices tell you this beautiful, loving, natural pursuit of new cycle and new life is impossible. Don't let anybody tell you that. So hold the generation of the healing that's going on in the heart. This is a healing process at play. It's not to be rushed. It's not on anybody else's time schedule. This is a natural metamorphosis of the human heart. And what happens next then is raccoon, and that is going this way into coming out into the 3D existence. And this is the builder of the bridges, building the bridge to the new. So those actions to build the bridge to this new relational existence in your everyday life, in our everyday life, it's a bridge that is to be built step by step by step. We're going to need some new words. We're going to need some new ways of experiencing ourselves and each other. And with every step we take in that way, we put that next stepping stone in place. And we try life out from there. And then as we get acclimated, we put that next stepping stone in place. And we live in this experience of purpose and awakening and genuine humanness. And we relate from there. So allow the metamorphosis here of your own heart to naturally unfold. It's happening, and you can nurture it. And it's a deep calling. It's just accentuated here. That butterfly who eventually will take action on her own behalf to step out of the cocooning and heads right into the new cycle, this new moon spiral. And all at the same time, this raccoon medicine gets activated to build the bridge to the new. So I just invite you just to breathe in the medicines, have another look here. We'll bring the whole picture back into view. I'll just share with you, there's rain, winds are blowing, lightning, thunder. It's just been an extraordinary gathering. So I thank you so much for coming, each of you in the circle. And those of you who may be listening later. With ceremony, the time on the clock does not end the ceremony. We're closing our time together. The ceremonial energy and doctrine from the spirits began before we all physically came here together and after we leave. So keep listening and feeling and sensing. Keep the quest alive. Keep your questions alive.